Hey babes, my name's Hannah.
And my name's Chasity.
Welcome back to Bookish Babes. Today we are doing a book babble on It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Long awaited. If the angle is different, that's because we're making this video later to put in to say that this is going to be full of spoilers. If you haven't watched any of our book babbles, we just turn the camera and like just word vomit. And so it's all going to be spoiler filled.
This entire video.
Yeah.
So if you have not read It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover.
Yeah. Don't watch this yet. Read the book, then come back and watch it. Okay, now back to the video. Full disclosure, we kind of talked about this in our wrap up. Neither of us were super excited about this book, to be honest. Only because when it was announced, and I saw the title, It Starts With Us, I thought for sure it was going to be a prequel, because first one was It Ends With Us, so It Starts With Us should be a prequel.
Yeah.
Also, I was kind of talking about this too in our wrap up. I sometimes have an issue with books that are supposed to be like a standalone novel and then them later deciding to add to it. Like sometimes it just kind of feels very forced.
So here was my thing is like I've never not been excited by a Colleen Hoover release.
Yeah,
but my thing was like, so I know that like Colleen has blown up and It Ends With Us has become such a huge thing, but for me when I read it, and I know for Colleen herself, like it was such a huge book and it was so impactful and it was so meaningful and it stood on its own so well.
Yeah. It didn't need a sequel.
It didn't need a sequel. So when this was announced, I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that.
I was initially very excited when I thought it was a prequel. Like I thought it was going to be Atlas's story. I would really love to hear his story after he left that town and didn't see Lily for a while.
See,
that's what I thought it was going to be.
I felt the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I was afraid we were going to go back to like before they met.
Oh, I didn't want that.
I did not want that.
Atlas was like in the military, and then he was building his business and opening up the. That's what I would have loved to see.
Yeah.
However, I do have to say we were both pleasantly surprised.
We were.
I knew I would like it because it's Colleen, but like I liked it a lot more than I expected to. So I still stand by my statement that It Ends With Us didn't need a sequel, but it was sort of just like a happy surprise.
Yeah, I definitely still, it still wasn't necessary,
but it was great.
But I loved it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it feels like a hug.
Yes.
I could just, this is one I could definitely reread.
I will.
And so I had discussed this a little bit, how I felt where It Ends With Us is Lily's story. And I stand by that wholeheartedly. This is Atlas's for me.
It is.
This totally, like, this made me invested in his character 100%.
Yeah.
I adore him.
I love Atlas so much.
He
is such a man written by a woman because he would never exist in real life.
That's why he shot right to the fucking top of my book boyfriends. He's so fucking perfect. He's so fucking perfect. He doesn't exist.
I know.
I promise you.
Just as like a recap, this book picks up literally right where the last book stops. Like there's no, it's the day that she confronts him in the street. She like runs back and she's like, I never told you what her middle name was, her daughter's middle name, Emerson's middle name. And then they kind of leave it open-ended. Like they kind of agree to meet up, but then no plans are made beyond that. And they like go about their day. Lily goes to work. Atlas goes to the restaurant. And then I can't remember what happens first. He shows up at her flower shop, right? Is that what happens?
He brings her lunch.
That's right. He brings her lunch where she's working with her best friend, who I forgot up until I reread the book that was Ryle's sister. I forgot. I totally forgot about that. I remember
he brings her a oh, why are you avoiding me lunch?
And we find out that she's avoiding him because she's worried about Ryle's reaction and worried about complicating Atlas's life because she's a single mom to a baby with a very jealous, formerly abusive ex-husband who can be manipulative. And I think that she's just worried about Atlas being drug into this.
That's the one thing I want to say about this book, was that I think it's very important to see how Lily's life progresses after that is after the divorce and having to actually continue a life that has to be still connected to Ryle after that, because she gets to move on, but she still has to be a co-parent with Ryle and his...
And for a second, she doesn't really get to move on because he's so controlling.
I know.
Fuck Ryle. I hated Ryle in this book.
I fucking hate
I
Ryle.
can't believe I ever liked him.
He doesn't even accept the divorce.
No.
They're divorced, but
He's
he
so
still
convinced
thinks
they're gonna get back
that
together.
they're going to get back together.
Yeah.
He still views her as, she's mine. She's just overreacting. Eventually, she's gonna get over this divorce. She's gonna get over this divorce.
And he keeps like saying that he's changed. I don't believe people like that can actually change.
No.
But then of course he shows that he didn't. And he continues to be just like insanely controlling and almost gets violent one time. And it just made me love Alyssa that much more. Because Alyssa's like,
And
listen,
Marshall.
I love my brother, but you cannot go back to my brother. You have to date Atlas, who she thinks is like a new guy, but she finds out it's not. And we have so many more great moments with Lily and her mom. That's such a complicated relationship, and I loved seeing it. Her mom, you find out in the end, she actually always recognized Atlas. You remember that part?
Yeah.
Where she's like, it's a very uncommon name. I knew who it was.
Oh, and the fact that she said, I never told you this, but I
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because she came home one day and he was in the house. And then they talk about the part in the first book where Atlas is sick.
Yes.
I'm so upset that this is over. Like, I was almost pissed at myself for reading it so quickly.
I know.
I was like, why did I have to finish that so quickly? You know? And one of my favorite parts is that, like, obviously in It Ends With Us, we get all of Lily's letters to Ellen. This has a lot of letters from Atlas to Lily, and as like a mode of communication and as a way of like dialogue in the book.
I love it so much.
One of the more challenging parts was when Atlas's mom showed back up. You didn't really get a lot of Atlas's story and his relationship with his mom in the first one.
No, you didn't, because you... I wonder why.
Yeah. But Atlas is having like some issues at his restaurant with like vandalism. He sets up some cameras and ends up catching the person who was doing it and confronting them, and it ends up being a brother that he didn't know he had, a younger brother who his mom never told him about, and his mom is evil, like a really evil person, and is really hell-bent on keeping them separate for whatever reason. Like, I just think she wants to like destroy
The power
them.
trip.
But like, she has to know that that's not what's best for either of them.
She doesn't care.
I know, that's why she's evil, because he's, you know, as soon as he knows, Atlas knows who he is, he's like, he can come live with me and I'll make sure he gets
She
through
doesn't
school.
care because it at the very end, even after everything,
I know.
and he offers the dinners, she still only showed up to one of them.
It wasn't even an offer. Like, he was almost like, you have to come to these dinners. That's like my one stipulation.
Yeah.
And she only went to one of them. But I don't know. It made me so sad for the both of them. But I think like it was really impactful because it made me that much more sad for Atlas, because it shows like what Atlas could have been had he had somebody like him when he was younger. And I wish that he had, I guess Lily was that person for him.
Lily was.
That like one sense of comfort. But it makes me really, really happy for Josh that he has. By the way, how do you have a kid named Atlas and then a kid named Josh? Whatever. Like, you would think you'd stick with a really uncommon name theme.
Drugs.
She was.
Alcohol.
Yeah. But it made me really happy for Josh that he had that, and really sad for Atlas that he didn't have that parental figure. He kind of had to figure it out on his own. But he ended up okay.
I just loved that this book was like the complete opposite of It Ends With Us.
It was. Man, what's that kid's name?
And I just love Theo.
Theo?
Theo, Josh's friend,
The little one, the younger
the
one?
therapist.
Yes.
Yes, Theo.
I loved him. I loved him.
I love him so much. He was good. Brad's kid.
Yes, he was such a standout character for me in this
I
book.
love him.
I love him so much.
So much. Then when I love the scene where Josh is like, what kind of parade are you going to? I want to go to a parade.
Yeah. And they end up becoming friends.
And he's like, well, I don't know. He's like, are you going to a pride parade?
I know. Theo is young. He's in, what, high school? Probably. He's Josh's age. They're like in school together. And Theo's gay. And he, initially when Atlas finds out, he's not out to his father. But it's totally like not a big deal. Like I love how it's, you know, it's represented, but it's not a big deal. It's like kind of shown that it's like, yeah, you're gay, it's fine. And, you know, Josh isn't gay, but he goes to the pride parade with him. The pride parade. The pride parade.
The pride parade.
The pride parade with him. And it's just, they have a really cute friendship, and Atlas and Theo have a really cute friendship, and I just loved it.
I also loved Josh playing with Emerson.
It's precious.
It's so cute.
Precious. They're step siblings now. It's so cute.
Really cute. So cute.
I really don't have anything bad to say about this book.
No, you know what? The only thing I wrote was here that I want to add is that Atlas is the sweet to Ryle's sour.
Yeah. I just wanted Ryle to go away. Is it bad that I was hoping that like Ryle would get drunk and like drive and like crash and die?
No.
I just wanted him to go away.
No, but do you know what? I thought it was so fitting that everyone, his sister and his best friend, agreed that he could not even be with Emerson without somebody else being there. Like he has to have supervised visits with his child.
He's got a temper, and kids are like difficult to be around, and so I mean I think that they're totally justified in that. But yeah, I think that was like really a wake-up call for him, and that let him know that A, his marriage was really over, and B, this is how it's going to be, and like this is the only way he gets to see his child. So
yep.
There were so many points in that book where I was so frustrated with Ryle, where like he could have a really great co-parenting relationship with Lily, and he could see his daughter regularly if he had just acted right.
She could have completely ruined him.
She could have, and she chose not to.
And she chose not to.
And she deserves some fucking credit for that. Lily was always so much better than Ryle deserved her to be.
Yeah. And still, after everything that happened, Ryle still blamed Atlas for everything.
Everything.
Never him. Never himself. It was never Ryle's fault.
And he says like some cruel shit. You disappoint me, Lily. You treat me like I'm a monster. I'm her goddamn father. I was happier before I met you. Have fun fucking the homeless guy. Ugh. Ooh, I just wanted him to go away.
And then threatens her with money because he says that he pays for the house or the apartment or whatever that she lives in. At least that's what he says. Because she said she sent those texts to the lawyer.
Oh, and then he shows up at the restaurant. Remember that part? Where he shows up to the restaurant to beat the shit out of Atlas.
But Atlas wouldn't.
No, because look at, I'm like glancing over this part now where he's trying to blame Atlas, like you said. He's like, you're the reason we're not together, and Ryle, or who? Atlas is like, no, we're the reason you guys are not together. Your anger, because Lily would have made it work. And so it's like weird. It's like weird to read about it and be like, I'm obviously not glad that she got abused, but I see like why their story happened the way that it did. Because had he not been abusive, like she probably would have stayed.
Yes, because like Atlas had said to him, I was not even a part of her life when you were together.
Yeah.
Which is true. She did not even want to go back to his restaurant.
Oh God, god, I love this book so much. I gotta stop because I'll just like sit there and reread the whole thing.
She didn't even want to go back to the restaurant when she knew he worked there.
No, I know. She was always like loyal to Ryle, and he like doesn't. He never appreciates anything she does. It made me really sad for her, but then it made me that much more happy for her in the end. The good people prevailed.
And he lost his shit over Atlas's phone number being in the back of her phone.
Mm-hmm. And Atlas was the one protecting her from him.
Do you know what's even sadder is that she didn't, when she had to call Atlas, she didn't even need that number because it was gone. Mm-hmm. She had it memorized because she knew in the back of her head she was gonna fucking need it
one day. Yeah, like I think it's very much just like an insecurity thing for him. Like he probably knows that had he not acted the way he did, they wouldn't be in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, any last notes you want to mention?
No, not really. No. Just that, you know, like, overall, I think my opinions, when it first was announced, have completely changed. Yeah. I was proved 1,000% wrong because Colleen Hoover can do no wrong.
Yeah.
And she's always right, and I need to just shut up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we call these videos Bookish Babbles for a reason, because we just turn on the camera and like babble and talk. So it's not very organized, but I'm really interested to hear what you guys thought about it. And like I was saying before, I was talking about this in our wrap up. Like, I know that it's like fun to shit on Colleen Hoover now because she's so popular. But like, please keep your comments respectful, even if you didn't like it. I haven't heard a ton of reviews about it. I honestly just haven't looked into it, but I feel like there's got to be people who don't like it, and that's fine. But people are really enjoying being mean to her online right now, and I don't like that. So
yeah, it's not necessary. You can not enjoy a book without being disrespectful to the author,
or like not enjoy the author and the way that she writes, but like don't be disrespectful towards the people who do enjoy it, you know?
Treat each other like humans, guys.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say.
I don't have anything else to say. Nope. I think we're done for today.
We somehow just talked for 18 minutes. I feel like we've been talking for 5 minutes.
I think that's it for today. We really, 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 really loved It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us.
Will definitely be one that I reread.
This is It Starts With Us.
It is.
I said It Ends With Us.
I probably have also said It Ends With Us at some point in the video. Sorry.
I loved It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
But I also loved It Starts With Us. And this is It Starts With Us.
So, question though, which one did you enjoy more?
I can't answer that question.
No? I still feel like I liked It Ends With Us a little bit better. Well, I don't know.
I can't answer that question because I think they both stand for two different reasons.
Yeah, because It Starts With Us just made me happy.
This is like a happy love story. That is an impactful book for me.
Yeah. You're right.
I don't think
apples
they can
to
compare.
Oranges.
Yeah, absolutely. Apples to oranges, babe. I can't compare them.
No, you're right.
Okay. That's it. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought.
Please.
Hit that like button and subscribe. And make sure you turn on that notification bell so you know when we post next. Bye.